Hey there guys, welcome to Rank Rhino. Lately, we've seen some classic shows from our childhood get rebooted and introduced to an entirely new audience. And seeing the success that some shows had, like the Samurai Jack reboot, it got me thinking, which shows from my childhood would be awesome as a reboot? I was thinking of shows that will be engaging in today's day and age while not feeling outdated in the slightest. And while some cartoons are too sacred to touch, there are some that will be hits in 2023 with a slight tweak to the story and characters. You know, slightly updating them, but not changing them to where they're completely different. In number 5, we've placed Hey Arnold. Nickelodeon's Hey Arnold centers around a 4th grader named Arnold and him trying to navigate through daily urban life. Arnold deals with the typical city life experiences that most kids experience, which makes him relatable. And while the show was focused on him, other characters would also get the spotlight in certain moments, thus highlighting different urban scenarios. While airing in the 90s, it explored different social and cultural topics, made serious themes digestible for children, and had an awesome jazzy soundtrack that made it so iconic. I have no doubts in my mind that this 90s classic would benefit from a reboot. It could get a slight update to its art style, and the characters could explore topics that are relevant to children in the 2020s and present them in a non-complicated way.
There's something you should know, Harold.
What?
I'm crazy, and you should never hit a crazy.
The 4th spot features Freakazoid. Considering how far technology has gotten and how much superhero-related content has blown up, I'm honestly surprised there still hasn't been a Freakazoid remake. Created by the same duo responsible for Batman the Animated Series, Freakazoid is an animated show that focuses on 17-year-old Dexter Douglas, a teenager that finds an old computer bug that takes him inside the internet. In there, he becomes the crazy teenage superhero Freakazoid who fights a catalog of bizarre supervillains. With technology coming leaps and bounds since the 90s, the show has a ton of potential for new scenarios that Dexter could get involved in, like hijacking a smartphone. Adding the show's fourth wall-breaking humor, the zany style, and the iconic supervillains, Freakazoid could easily become a modern must-watch and not just for children.
What's this?
Pen, brick, pencil, brick.
In number 3, we have Dexter's Laboratory. When discussing classic Cartoon Network shows, Dexter's Laboratory is one of the first names you mention. The show's formula for tons of action, hilarious disasters, and memorable villains made it a childhood favorite for many of us. Dexter himself is a great character for a child show. He's a boy genius that's entirely focused on his experiments and inventions, making him an awesome, relatable character for kids who like science and exploring. Dexter's fixation on experiments leads to a ton of awesome episodes where he's on the verge of something great, but suddenly gets interrupted by his lovable but ignorant parents, destructive sister Dee Dee, or one of the show's maniacal villains like Mandark. The show also features plenty of scenarios where Dexter deals with real-life experiences that most people have. Anyone remember that party episode? Dexter's Laboratory could be one of the most awesome reboots in the 2020s, with him using advanced technology for even wonkier experiments and innovations.
Good evening, computer. Put me online to this evening's agenda.
First,
Number 2 is going to be Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain originally aired as a segment of the Animaniacs, but the cartoon quickly got its own series thanks to its insane popularity. The show even won multiple Emmy and Annie Awards, which tells you everything you need to know. It's centered around 2 genetically modified rats, Pinky, who's not the smartest tool in the shed, and Brain, who's a genius set on taking over the world. Each episode follows the iconic duo as they try to execute one of Brain's world domination plans and fail in epic proportion. Pinky and the Brain's writing is a standout among an era of amazing cartoons. It's a real shame that it ended in the 90s. The voice actors for the 2 rats, Rob Paulsen and Maurice LaMarche, have already expressed their desire for a reboot, although nothing official has been confirmed. A remake of this absolute classic could provide us with many new world domination plans by Brain and just as many hilarious quotes by Pinky. Personally, I'd love to see this iconic duo back on air with some minor updates.
We're so small and we're practically the size of mice, Brain.
We are mice, Pinky.
And in number 1, we have Courage the Cowardly Dog. This might be one of the most obvious picks, considering that practically everyone loves Courage and his paranormal scary adventures. The show perfectly mixes the worlds of cartoon, horror, and slapstick, as it can make you laugh and be scared to go to sleep all in the same episode. The animated series follows the pink dog Courage, whose name is quite ironic considering he's scared of everything and his attempts to protect his owners from bizarre, disturbing, or supernatural events. Honestly, the show is just as much a cartoon for grown-ups as a children's cartoon. Courage, the cowardly dog, has scenes that can unsettle even the most avid horror fans, and it has plenty of memorable quotes and life lessons. The villains are multi-layered and often have a very valid reason as to why they're after Courage and his owners. Not to mention, the social themes of the show are relevant even to this day. I really don't think the show even needs to be remade or reimagined in any way. It was perfect as it was. We only need more seasons full of entrancing content.
It'll be okay. Okay?
Guess what I found?
Thanks for watching, guys. Do you have a favorite childhood show that you would love to get a proper reboot? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more trivia and lists related to pop culture. Thank you again and see you next time.